Whoa, I got here just in time. I heard you were about to read a rulebook. Gross, don't do that. I'm Ryan from How I Roll, and in this Rip Up the Rules, I'm going to teach you how to play Halls of Asgard. So go throw that rulebook straight in the trash. You don't need it. Halls of Asgard is a semi-cooperative social strategy game from Canada, like me. It's designed by Joshua Gillingham and published by Littlehammer Games. It's an engaging dive into Norse mythology for 3 to 6 players, and the game lasts about 30 to 45 minutes. So grab a pint of mead and come pull up a seat so I can show you how to set up and play Halls of Asgard. If you've always dreamed of achieving god status, now's your chance. In Halls of Asgard, you take on the name and role of one of the great Norse gods who sits blissfully in the mighty halls of Asgard, living up the mantra, eat, drink, and be merry. But unknowingly, trouble brews below in Niflhel, where Hela, queen of the dead, enacts her evil plan to feed the souls of many to the dragon Nidhogg. Not like that's not crazy or anything. Will you and the other gods sitting at the table be able to undermine her twisted plan? Let's see. To begin setup, place the Midgard board right in the center of the table. Then distribute one Norse god board to each player. You can pass these out randomly or choose your favorite gods. However, for your first game, these are the recommended combinations. For 3 players, use Odin, Thor, and Freya. Add Heimdall for 4 players, and then throw in Eden for 5 players. Loki only shows up in a 6-player game with the beginner setup. I guess you just can't trust a dude with long dark hair. Once everyone has their god, everyone places 2 power tokens hammer side up over each power on their board. This is what a 3-player setup could look like at this point. Next, place the Hela board above Midgard, right above the Elder stage, with her hall ready to trap those unlucky heroes. Just a quick note that the version of the game in this video is a nearly finished prototype, but one thing that is missing is the more advanced version of Hela, which will be on the back of the Hela board. For now, my board is just blank. Players can choose together whether they want to play the standard difficulty or flip this over to an even fiercer, meaner Hela. Next, pile all the hero tokens with the number sides down at the base of the Midgard board right beneath the child stage. Each of these hero tokens has a number on the bottom, either 0, 1, or 2. This will be relevant later, but for now, just know that that's the range. Give these hero tokens a mix so that their numbers are random. Give the first player token and the 6-sided die to the player who most recently drank mead or threw axes. Fun fact, I actually just went axe throwing at Gen Con, and I was terrible at it. And with the first player selected, the game is set up and you're ready to play. In Halls of Asgard, each round of play consists of 4 simple phases. First, heroes are born into Midgard. Next, the Norse gods claim heroes. Then, the Norse gods feast, and finally, Hela rages. You continue to play through rounds until all of the hero tokens have been claimed either by one of the gods or by Hela. At this point, you will evaluate whether Hela was successful in carrying out her plan or if the gods were able to stop her. However, there's a minor plot twist, because as I said earlier, this game is semi-cooperative. Norse gods aren't always known for being the most humble, selfless entities. If Hela is defeated, there will be a god who has contributed the most and made victory possible, and I'm certain they will make sure everyone at the table knows it. More on that later when we get to endgame scoring. For now, here's a breakdown of how each phase works. Phase 1, heroes are born into Midgard. This phase represents the circle of life. All the heroes already on the board go through the aging process, represented by moving up the Midgard board. Elders age out, or at least that's what we'll call it to soften the blow. Slide all elders up onto the Hela board. Then advance all warriors up to the elder spot, and all the children become warriors, at which point you flip their tokens over so that their value is no longer hidden. Finally, place a number of face-down hero tokens onto the child space equal to the number of players at the table. Since this is a 3-player game, I have to add 3. Now it's time for phase 2, where Norse gods claim heroes. This is the fun part. This is where you try to build up your army of undying Viking heroes. Starting with the first player and going clockwise, each player takes a turn trying to claim a hero. On your turn, pick a specific hero token anywhere on Midgard, and then roll the die. If your roll is equal to or greater than the stage's requirement, which is 4 for a child or elder and 5 for a warrior, you claim the hero. Place the hero token in your personal hall on the appropriate space based on where you snagged it from. Children and elders you gained go here, while warriors are placed here. If, however, you don't roll a high enough number, the hero stays put. Whether you succeed or fail miserably, you pass the die to the next player and then they can try for the hero of their choice. Everyone gets 1 attempt per round. But here's the twist, the gods have powers that can shake things up. Each god has 2 unique powers that can be used during this phase of the game. If the token on that power is showing this fancy hammer side, that power is ready to be used. If these dots are facing up, tough luck. Your power is exhausted and you'll need to wait until it's been refreshed. Any god, yours or others, can jump in during anybody's turn, including their own. It's kind of a Norse god free-for-all. Simply announce your power and exhaust the token on it by flipping it hammer side down. Now, if multiple players want to use their power all at the same time, priority is given to the active player and then moving around the table clockwise from there. Even gods have to wait their turn sometimes. Many of these powers will have an impact on the roll of the die or what happens to the heroes. They are clearly laid out on the player mats, so I won't go over all of them, but here are a few examples. Freya's Tears of Gold can be used after any player has rolled the die to make that player re-roll it. Thor can use his hammer to add a +2 to any die roll that has been made. And Heimdall's Rainbow Bridge lets him guess what another player will roll in order to steal the claimed hero for himself. Besides the 2 powers listed on your god's player mat, you'll also notice that each god has a curse. Nobody's perfect. If you're playing the role of Loki or Thor, your curse has an ongoing negative effect that impacts this phase and your ability to claim heroes from Midgard. So far we've covered the main sequence of how a round works. Here's a quick recap. In phase 1, babies get born and all the heroes age up the Midgard board and potentially into Hela's domain. In phase 2, each player gets 1 attempt to claim a single hero from Midgard and rolls the die to see if they succeed. During this phase, players can also use their god's powers at any time. Now on to phase 3, the Norse gods feast. After all that hard work of claiming heroes, it's party time. The gods sit back, relax, and pretend that Hela isn't currently trying to ruin the world. In this phase, all players refresh all of their powers so that all tokens are showing a hammer facing up. Lastly, we've got phase 4, Hela rages. She's such a jerk. The first player rolls the 6-sided die for Hela and executes the effect on her board according to that number. If you roll a 1, Hela claims a child from Midgard. If you roll a 2, she takes a warrior. And a 3 gets her an elder. If you're unlucky enough to roll a 4, Hela claims a child, warrior, and elder. With a 5, every player has to exhaust one of their powers. You get to choose which one. Unless you're playing Eden, then your curse is that you have to exhaust golden apples, or if you're using Heimdall, your curse is that you lose both powers. And lastly, a 6 gives the gods a breath of fresh air and nothing happens. So that's a round. Heroes are born, gods claim the heroes, gods refresh their powers, and then Hela does her thing. At the end of the round, pass the starting player 1 space to the left and begin a new round. Play continues like this round after round until all of the hero tokens have been claimed. Once the final hero is claimed, either by Hela or one of the players, the game ends immediately and it's on to final scoring. Hela's base score is 9 if you're playing on the standard side, or 18 if you're using the advanced side. Add to this base score 1 point per hero token on her board, and that's her final score. So in this example, Hela would score 9 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points for a total of 17 points. Now each player totals their own score by gaining the following points. Each of your child and elder tokens is worth the exact value written on it, either 0, 1, or 2 points. Each of your warrior tiles is worth double its depicted value, so either 0, 2, or 4 points each. And finally, you get 3 points for every set of 3 matching clan symbols you've collected on your hero tokens. Add all of these points up to calculate your final score. Also note that if you're playing as Freya or Odin, this is the point where your curse comes into play, so make sure you factor that into your total. Let me show you an example player scoring. Freya collected these 6 children and elders. Since children and elders are worth their exact value, she has a total of 1, 3, 4, 6, 7 points for children and elders. She also managed to gain these 4 warriors. Warriors are worth double their printed value, so this adds another 4, 6, 8 points to her score, bringing her total up to 15 points. She also finished the game with 2 sets of 3 matching clan symbols, giving her another 6 points. This brings her total up to 21. Freya's curse says that she loses 2 points at the end of the game if she hasn't collected at least 1 hero from each clan. Fortunately, she's collected symbols from all 4 of the clans. This means that Freya's final score is 21 points. If no player has a higher score than Hela, all players lose the game, Asgard burns, and Hela cackles all the way to Ragnarok. However, if at least one god's total score exceeds Hela's score, she takes the walk of shame right back to Niflhel where she came from, and the team wins. Well, they do, but we really know who carried the team, right? And there you have it. That's Halls of Asgard in less time than it takes to read a rulebook. I hope you found this video helpful to begin playing this game, and I hope you have a blast playing it. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe and turn on those notifications so that I can see you when I'm back here with more videos. There's always room at the table for you. And if you have any questions about the game or its rules along your journey to becoming the greatest god in all of Asgard, drop it in the comments below and I'll get back to you right away. I've also linked the game's BoardGameGeek page below where you can find discussion topics, photos, and all other kinds of info about the game as well. Thanks for joining me for another installment of Rip Up the Rules.